Water. So important for life. Yet, water, if it's poisoned or contaminated, can make us sick. If it's good water, it can help us heal. Did you know that there are 2,100 known water contaminants? Things like chlorine, fluoride, nitrates, pesticides, herbicides, glyphosate, pharmaceuticals, and they contribute to cancer, respiratory distress, allergies, leaky gut, skin irritations, diabetes, autism, and so much more. It's actually very, very sad. So in today's modern world, it's more important than ever because of the quantity of contaminants that we all have access to clean, pure, uncontaminated water. And that's why in today's Ask Wardee, welcome by the way, I'm sharing which whole house water filtration system we chose for our family and why. Yet, even if you don't own your own home or for some reason you can't install a whole house filter, I'm going to give you options for renting as well. So I'm glad you're joining me. You're definitely going to want to print, save, or bookmark this one. So be sure to go to the show notes, askwardee.tv, look for episode 134, because I'm putting online everything I'm sharing in today's episode, from the links, the notes, the quotes, to just everything you need to know about water filtration. So be sure to take advantage of those notes. So today's question comes from Connie. She said that they have been using a countertop Berkey system, water filtration system, but they're looking to get into a whole house system. And she wants to know more about what she should look for, and she wants maximum possible contamination removal while preserving minerals in the water. And so she's asking what we chose. And so thank you for your question, Connie. It's great, and I'm so thrilled to share with you. And to say thank you for submitting a question that I'm answering on Ask Wardee. You're getting a free mini e-course from us, and our team has already been in correspondence with you about that, so enjoy. What's the best water filtration system? Well, it does depend on where you live and kind of your situation. Our family recently made 2 cross-country moves. Starting out with, we were in Oregon on 5 acres that we owned, and we had a well, but there was some lead contamination in old pipes, so we had to filter our water, filter the lead out for a while until we replaced some of the pipes. Then we went across the country to Indiana, where we rented for 2 years, and we had no control over the installation of systems really, so we relied on having filters in the showers to remove chlorine, and we had a countertop Berkey water filtering system for our drinking and cooking water. Then we decided to come back west to Idaho. We purchased, but we're on municipal water. And water is very, very important to us. So it was at the top of our minds when we made the move to Idaho that we were going to install a whole house system so that we could ensure that all our water, because we had the control, would be completely clean and uncontaminated. So on this Ask Wardee, I'm going to talk you through the whole process of what we chose, how it all works, and more information for you, whether you rent or whether you own. We looked at a lot of different filtration systems, and we eventually settled on Radiant Life's water filtration systems. There's several reasons why we feel that they're best. Number one is that they remove the maximum number of contaminants. So compared to other brands, you will get the cleanest water when you use Radiant Life systems. Number two, their systems either leave in or replace any minerals lost during filtering process. Number three, they have the longest longevity. In other words, if you buy a filtering system and you size it appropriately with their help for your family's size, the volume of water you use, you can expect it to last 10 years. And finally, the systems require the least maintenance. Now, depending on what you purchase, and we're going to talk through some of the options today, you will find that all the competitors to Radiant Life have shorter maintenance schedules, meaning you're having to replace filters or media a lot sooner than you will with Radiant Life systems. So recently I hosted a free water filtration web class with Tom, the expert at Radiant Life. He's a water expert. He's been doing water for 30 years. He knows a ton. And we relied on him a lot when choosing our systems. Anyway, he was a guest on this web class, and he told us that at Radiant Life, their focus goes far beyond what other companies focus on. So a lot of companies are focusing on taste, odor, and chlorine removal. Yet, there's 2,100 known water contaminants. So at Radiant Life, their focus is actually on producing the purest uncontaminated water possible, going far beyond odor, taste, and chlorine. So it was a no-brainer for us choosing Radiant Life Systems, and I hope you will feel the same. So up front, just want you to know that we made a significant investment in our whole house filter systems we chose from Radiant Life, but we're so happy because we know the water is as clean as it can be, so it's super high quality filtration systems. And also because of the longevity of their systems, we know we have far less maintenance to do, and we're not going to be buying expensive filters and such that often. So which whole house water filtration system did we choose? Well, our system actually ended up being made up of 3 parts. So number 1 was a whole house water filter that just removes a ton of contaminants from the water where the water enters the house. Second, we added a salt-free water conditioner, which I'll tell you a little bit about more. And third, we added an on-demand drinking water system that does even more purification. So today, when I'm telling you about what we chose, I'm going to be talking about those 3 things. And your scenario may end up being somewhat different, but that's what we chose to have a complete water filtration system for our entire house and even our garden. So let's talk about the whole house filter first. Radiant Life has 3 choices for your whole house filters. There's the Series 2, the Series 4, and the Series 6. The Series 6 removes the most contaminants, so that's why we chose it. We were making an investment anyway, so we decided let's get the best one that they have. So a whole house water filtration system is typically installed at the point in your house where you receive your water. Whether it's coming from a well or a municipal system, your water filtration tank goes right there so it can filter all the water for your whole house. And how it works is through what's called GAC, graduated activated carbon. And these are different sizes and types of what you would call media for filtering. And it's a big tank, and the different types are just dumped in the tank and layered up. So when your water comes in, it goes through all these different sizes of media, because every size and type of media has different levels of ability for removing different kinds of contamination. So the more different types of media you can put in your tank, the more contaminants are going to be removed. And so the Series 6 has the most types of media and does the most filtering, and so we chose that one, and that's basically how it works. It's hooked up at our main house water supply, and all the water that comes into the house goes through that filter before it comes out any sink or even our garden hose. So beyond choosing Series 2, 4, or 6, which kind of depends on how much filtering you want to do, you have a choice in sizes. And that really depends on the size of your home, the number of bathrooms, how many showers are running at the same time, how many people live in your house. It's really based on volume. And if you work with Tom at Radiant Life, and he does that free of charge, he can help you select the right size, because ideally you want to choose the filter that's going to last you for 10 years before you even have to look at replacing the media. The second part of our system is the salt-free conditioner. Now, you've probably heard of water softeners, right? Well, conditioners achieve the same results, but they do it without salt. Whereas a water softener typically uses salt, a conditioner is salt-free. Different areas of the country have differing water hardness levels, and hardness is really what builds up as scale in your pipes. It can build up in your appliances so they don't last as long. It makes you have to use more soap if your water is hard. You get hard water deposits and scale in your sinks and your toilets that doesn't look very good. There's kind of a lot of downsides to hardness. Even on your skin, it's drier. So there's lots of reasons to not want hard water, and we didn't want hard water. But water is hard here in Idaho where we live, so we were like, what should we do? We're going to filter the water. How do we soften it too? And Radiant Life has this salt-free conditioner. And the salt-free conditioner is great because, as I said, it doesn't use salt. So you're not having to replace the salt. You're not contributing to the salt problem in the sewage and runoff. And so it's fantastic. And it also, just like the whole house filter, when sized appropriately to your water volume, you can expect it to last 10 years without having to do anything for maintenance. So to summarize, Radiant Life's salt-free conditioner gives you all the benefits of softened water, yet you don't have to replace any salt, and also you can drink the water. A water softener, where you're adding salt, that in itself is kind of a headache to maintain, but the other thing is you really shouldn't be drinking that water, and that water does contribute to runoff and salty issues out in our fields and water systems. So Radiant Life salt-free conditioner is absolutely fantastic, and it doesn't have that slippery feel that you do with water softeners as well. So actually your showers are much more pleasant. You don't have the dry skin. As I said, you can drink the water and you're not replacing salt. So it is a huge win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. And you might wonder how it works. Well, the minerals are in your water because it's hard, and the salt-free conditioner just has this technology that makes them inactive. So they're still there. When you drink the water, you still get the benefit of the minerals, but they're not wreaking havoc on your pipes. They're not breaking down your appliances. They're not making you use more soap. They're not drying out your skin. So it's really, really great. And the third piece of the puzzle for us is to add this drinking water faucet at the kitchen sink. This is a 14-stage biocompatible drinking water purification system. You put the faucet right here at the sink. The filter itself is installed under the sink, and then you have a storage tank, and they have different size storage tanks, I think from 3 or 4 gallons up to 14. We chose the 14-gallon, and so it obviously doesn't fit under the sink, so it's installed right over there in the garage next to our other units, the conditioner and the whole house water filter. So it's a really cool system. But you might be asking, wait a sec, Wardee, you told us that the whole house filter was so great. Why are you filtering again at the sink for your drinking water? Well, that's a great question, Connie or anybody else who's asking it, and I'll tell you why. So the whole house water filter is fantastic to remove like so many contaminants. However, it has one downside, and it's not really a downside of this particular system. It's a downside of all graduated activated carbon filter systems, and that is that they're not very good at removing nitrates. Because we live in an agricultural area of Idaho, we felt sure that we would have nitrate content in our water at least seasonally, if not all the time, and we later verified that through testing. And so we just didn't want to be drinking nitrates. Nitrates cause problems and they're not good to be drinking, so we decided to add this additional system for our drinking water, for our cooking water, basically for any of the water that we're consuming. So the water that comes out of the tap that has just gone through the whole house filter is so amazing for bathing and all those other uses, but we use this to drink and eat, so anything we consume has the additional purification stage. And this is quite an amazing filter. It has 14 stages, as I told you. One of them is reverse osmosis. Another is deionization. And so through the process of doing these 14 stages, you have like the cleanest drinking water possible. And there's further purification with nitrates, bacteria, pathogens. It makes amazingly pure water. However, it is reverse osmosis, which removes the minerals. So Radiant Life adds minerals back in as some of the final stages, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. And a final note about this purification system is there are similar systems out there. They don't nearly have all the same stages as this one, so the water is not quite as good. But the other thing is the longevity thing I was talking about before. This one, you won't be changing any media or filters for 1 to 3 years, whereas on other units, you're looking at having to change and maintain things after just a few months. Okay, let's talk about that reverse osmosis issue that Connie brought up. And Connie, in your question, you specifically said you want like the best filtering system for your house that retains the minerals. And so by your question, I could tell that you were saying that you thought that reverse osmosis strips minerals out of the water and therefore isn't good. And it is correct. That's the bad news. Reverse osmosis does take minerals out of the water. And why does it do that? Well, reverse osmosis is arguably the most powerful way to purify water. And a natural consequence of that is that the minerals are removed as well as all the other contaminants. It's just kind of how it works. And whereas lots of other companies that offer reverse osmosis filters would just, leave it at that. It doesn't have minerals, so, you can add them yourself if you'd like them. Well, Radiant Life doesn't do that. One of the stages in the 14-stage system is that they add minerals back into the water. But they're not just choosing, any old mineral. They're actually sourcing a really high-quality natural form of a coral calcite that comes off the coast of Australia. So it's a really wonderful salt, high quality, and they put it back into the water. So this water is actually perfectly mineralized, perfectly hydrating. So Connie, there you go. I know there's a lot of like literature out there and articles say don't do reverse osmosis, but it really comes down to reverse osmosis removes minerals. So Radiant Life solves that by adding minerals back. So really, reverse osmosis isn't the problem. Reverse osmosis is very powerful for purifying water. The problem is, what do you do about the minerals? Well, this 14-stage system puts them back in a wonderful form, so you really have the best of both worlds. You have perfectly clean and perfectly mineralized, hydrating water. Now, what about these water filtration systems removing glyphosate? This is definitely a product of our modern world, and if you don't already know, glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup, and it is by far, currently, our world's #1 toxin. Causes all kinds of problems. It first entered the scene in 1974 by Monsanto. Thank you, Monsanto. And today we have Roundup being used as weed killer in like most people's lawns and gardens. There's Roundup ready crops, so seeds that plant that they've got Roundup built in to make a healthy crop so that weeds don't take over and such. And so it's really a big problem. And the problem is so big that even if you personally don't use Roundup or glyphosate on your lawn, this glyphosate is now so prevalent, it's been so heavily used in the world that it's in our water supply. So if you get rained on, if your garden or your lawn gets rained on, it's receiving glyphosate. What's the problem with glyphosate? Cancer, leaky gut, birth defects, asthma, decreased gut health, diabetes, autism, increased gluten sensitivity and celiac disease, hypothyroidism. There's so many problems with glyphosate. We probably haven't even scratched the surface of what it's doing. So it's really, really bad news, and you certainly don't want to be drinking it. So I asked Tom at Radiant Life specifically about glyphosate and these filtration systems and their potential of removing it. And he assured me that both the graduated active carbon in the whole house filter, that gets what gives us water at every single sink, faucet, tub, toilet in the house. Glyphosate is removed by the graduated active carbon, and it's also removed greater than 99% through the reverse osmosis and the filters involved in this 14-stage system. So you can be confident and breathe a big sigh of relief like we did to know that the systems at Radiant Life are going to help with the glyphosate problem. You won't be drinking it. And that's huge. I know a lot of you are wondering about the timeline of changing things, and so it really does depend on systems, the different systems from Radiant Life, on what you have to change when. But when you're talking about the whole house water filter that provides water to all your sinks in the home, when you're talking about the salt-free conditioner, when you work with Tom at Radiant Life to choose the right one for your family's volume of water needs, then for a good 10 years, you really don't have to think about changing anything. And what they recommend is about 8 or 9 years into your system, you do a water test. And that'll test for contaminants in your water and let you know the health of your system. And so then at that point, if the water quality is diminishing, that's a point at which you're looking at replacing media. With the 14-stage filter, there's a lot of different stages here, and they give you a complete schedule when you get the instructions of, at 1 year, replace this one, at 3 years, replace this one, and such, so you can simply follow the schedule. And they have all the parts and supplies on their website, and they'll even work with you in the future, to assist you with that. But basically, as I said before, one of the things we love so much about Radiant Life Systems when we looked at the schedule of maintenance and what we have to do is that we're going to go a long time before we have to do anything, and that they also provide the roadmap on exactly what to do. They provide the testing so you can test to find out what you need to do, etc. So please don't be concerned about it. It's really all laid out for you, and you can actually install and kind of wait quite a while before you have to do any maintenance. So whether you rent, whether you own, if you live in the country, you live in the city, in order to choose the systems that are right for you, you have to know what's in your water. So what is in your water anyway? How can you tell? How can you find out? Okay, well, let's deal with well first. If you are on a well, you really, you just have to test your water. And Radiant Life has a great comprehensive well check test. tradcookschool.com/RL Water for Radiant Life Water will take you to their water area, and you can find the well check test there. And if you do order that test, it just comes to your house. You fill it with tap water from the sink, and then you send it away, and then you receive your results a little while later. And at Radiant Life, they'll help you review that and tell you what the issues are and what will fix it. So basically, along the whole way, you have assistance. You find out what's in your water, you figure out what systems will help you deal with your exact issues. Now, if you're on municipal water, you can get a little bit more information up front before doing a test, and that is because legally municipalities are required, at least in the United States, to release annual water reports. Now, some municipalities are more thorough than others, some care more than others, but the way you can start is to contact your city or go to your city's website and find out, where is this annual water report, download it and read it. And that'll give you some information of do they typically have nitrates? How much do they chlorinate? How many cisterns do they have? And if you need help evaluating that, Tom can help you too, but that'll give you some starting information. We found that ours was very, very helpful. And then we also chose to get additional testing because Radiant Life offers a city check test. And so we just filled the tubes with water, shipped it off. We had testing strips that we did right here to see on the spot what the chlorine levels were. And that's how we tested for our city water to see what was exactly in it. And this is really good information for you to know what you're dealing with because, as I was telling you before, the filtration systems, they have series 2, 4, and 6 for the whole house. Well, maybe the 2 is going to take care of all the contamination you have. Maybe you don't need the series 6. And so you can save a little bit of money there. So it is worth the expense up front, a couple $100 to find out what your water situation is. So then you find the right solution for it. So you've ordered your water system. How do you install it? Well, Radiant Life is amazing because they ship it all to you and it comes with everything. Complete instructions, the tubing, hoses, connectors, really everything you need. If you had to do some piping changes in your house, maybe you'd need some parts for that. But essentially the filtration systems, the conditioner, everything comes with all the parts necessary and the detailed instructions. And so if you're handy, if your spouse is handy, if you have a dad or an uncle or a son or a brother that's handy, you could literally install it yourself. Some things are very easy, like filters just for a sink. A whole house system or this 14-stage system are a little more complicated. For us, even though my husband is very smart, very handy, we did decide to hire a plumber. Our house didn't automatically, the water supply kind of split where the water goes to the faucets and sinks and goes to the hose. And we wanted to filter even the hose water. So when we have a garden, it will have clean, uncontaminated water. And so we needed to go under the house and make some changes there. And so that was one big reason we hired a plumber. And working with our plumber was great. His name's Ken. If you're in Treasure Valley, Idaho, at askwardee.tv, episode 134, the show notes, you can find a link to his website. Perhaps you can use him too. He was great. He actually came out a few times. Once he came out just to kind of consult with us, give us a quote, tell us where he thought the system should be. We showed him Radiant Life's website and what they would look like and kind of the specs and stuff. And he said, yeah, I think it would all work right here in the garage. And if you want the hose, then he went under the house and he looked and he said, yeah, I'll have to do some things down there. Anyway, he gave us a quote. He said it would take half a day to 3/4 of a day. He came back again before install day because all the boxes had arrived from Radiant Life. And so he came just for an hour or so and he opened them all up and he just made sure everything was there and that he had a good sense of what had arrived. He took the instructions home with him to study. And then he arrived for install day. He arrived early one morning, I think it was 8 o'clock or something. And he was here for most of the day. So by afternoon, we had everything installed and it was painless. He was an expert. He did a fantastic job and we had great water on tap. We were so excited, so excited. So in case you're wondering what that costs, I suppose it would vary region to region and how long it would take. Like Tom says, this system takes about 2 hours to install. But like I said, we have the 3 systems and we had some piping changes redone under the house. So it took the greater part of a day and it was $1,100. And we're very happy about it. It was money well spent to have the system just put in without any difficulty on our part, no frustration, and just to know that it was done very, very well. So thank you, Ken, and I hope that helps you know what to expect. If you're handy, do it yourself, hire it out. But Radiant Life really does their part to ship you a complete system with instructions so you have very little headache. Make sure to visit the show notes, askwardee.tv, episode 134, because I've added a bonus video there, which shows you actually the installation process step by step, from us doing our water testing to installing all the systems, so you can get a peek at how it went. I want to talk about our results with our water testing, because we actually chose to test our water before and after installation, really because we wanted the peace of mind to know that we installed these systems and they really did work. We wanted to know what our issues were and did the systems resolve them. The other thing was, I had in mind, because of questions I received over the year, that I might end up sharing this information with all of you. And so then it can give you confidence, because I'm making a recommendation that Radiant Life systems are the best. And then you can have confidence because we did the testing and can show that they really work. Well, that can give you confidence in trusting them as well. So here's what we did. We got 3 water tests from Radiant Life. We ordered them off their website. And one of them we did before the installation of the systems. I just took water right here from the kitchen sink and filled all the little tubes and sent it away. And we got the results back. We also did 2 additional tests, because remember, we have faucets and bathtubs and showers and everything that the water goes through the salt-free conditioner and the whole house filter. We also have this that does an additional stage. It does this conditioner and the whole house filter. It also does the 14-stage drinking water purifier. So we really have 2 types of water here now in our house. So we wanted to know what is the condition of this water and what's the condition of this water. And that's why we did 2 after tests. So here's what we found from our testing. Before, our water had chlorine, it had nitrates, it was hard water, it had a couple other little things, but those were the biggies. Then the after tests. For this after test came back free of chlorine. It did not come back free of nitrates, but as I told you before, we were expecting that because the graduated activated carbon does not do a great job with nitrates. And it was still hard because the salt-free conditioner and the whole house filter, they don't remove minerals, they just get broken up and made inactive. So we still had hard water coming out of this. Well, at least mineral content in the water, but we don't get the scale and stuff that the house used to get. This drinking water purifier, the water test came back free of chlorine, obviously, still mineralized because the minerals that may be removed are added back. But the key thing is this was free of nitrates. So basically, the testing we did proved everything that Radiant Life had promised us, and so the testing showed that Radiant Life systems passed with flying colors. And so we have just fantastic water that we love so much, and that really has done what it's promised to do. So I told you we decided to do this testing to help give you confidence, and we decided to do it at our own expense because we thought it was important for our peace of mind and for yours. And I also want to say that the systems we bought, we did at our own significant expense. Now, bloggers get free things from time to time, but we felt it was really important that we invest our own money in this system because, again, we want you to have confidence that this is worth us spending our money on. And so if we recommend it to you, then we can say that just with complete integrity that it's money well spent on your part too. So how does the water feel? Well, this water that comes out of here is both whole house filtered and conditioned, and it's a salt-free conditioner. So our skin has not been drying, actually. We've gone through an entire winter without the usual dry skin problems, but we don't have that same slippery feel that a water softener would give. It tastes fantastic. My husband and I both comment all the time how we cannot get enough of this water. It is so good, and it's really the best water we've ever tasted, and we've had really good water in our lives. We've had Oregon water and Montana water that's just delicious, but this honestly is the best water we've ever had. So, so yummy. So if I was just gonna, off the top of my head, tell you all the things I love about this water, the taste, the benefits, how it feels and such, this is what I would say. So we went through an entire winter without dry skin, which that's a huge win for us at our age when dry skin is like a constant issue. So we used far less moisturizer this winter, and we did not feel dry and cracky coming out of the shower. mentioning the shower. We were previously for 2 years in Indiana, and even though we had a shower filter to remove chlorine, we'd still walk into the shower into a cloud of chlorine. Now, caveat here, our shower filters were not from Radiant Life, and I have a feeling if they were, that wouldn't have been the case. But you know what I mean if you're on chlorinated water. You turn on the water to let the shower run or warm up, and you've got the door or the curtain closed. Then the water's hot, so you open up your curtain or door to get in, and you're just walking into this cloud of chlorine. And chlorine is so damaging if you inhale it. Like babies bathing in tubs with the water chlorinated, they're sitting in that cloud of chlorine. It's so bad for them. So, that's just so yucky, and we're so thankful every day to get into the bath or the shower and not have that cloud of chlorine. I love taking a hot bath at least once a week and know that I can add the Epsom salts, but I'm not soaking in contaminated water and I'm not breathing in chlorine. That's amazing. I love it. We love the taste of the water and think it's fantastic. Can't get enough of it. I love that when we put in a garden, we're going to be able to put uncontaminated water on the garden as well. I love that we use less soap because of the conditioner working on the water, and our appliances are going to last longer. It's just quite amazing just to add longevity to those things and to be more frugal with your resources, i.e. soap use. I love knowing that any sink I go to in the house offers clean and uncontaminated water. I love that this water doesn't irritate my keratosis pilaris arm rash. In fact, as I shared on previous Ask Wardee, askwardee.tv 133, my KP rash has healed about 80% in the last 6 months or so. And I credit part of that to bathing in clean water. The chlorinated water that we used to have in Indiana, even though we've filtered some of it out, it was very irritating and drying. And so this has the inflammation here has begun to reduce, and the water I find is very, very healing. I did share more tips on healing KP, so go to askwardee.tv 133 to get all the tips and product reviews for that. But the water has been amazing on that. So I just scratched the surface of the benefits. There's probably more. And if you have a whole house filter, if you filter your water and you have any benefits to share, I'd love to hear them at the show notes, askwardee.tv, episode 134. What if you rent, or what if you are not able to install permanent systems or whole house filtration systems where you live? Well, Radiant Life actually offers tons and tons and tons of different options. You are not limited if you don't own. You're not limited if you're in an apartment. You're not limited if you can't put in something permanent. They have filters for sinks. They have short filters for sinks with tiny cabinets. They have filters for any faucet or sink in your house. They have a filter that can do your garden hose. They have a filter that can filter the water line that goes to your refrigerator for your ice dispenser or your water dispenser. They have countertop gravity systems like the Berkey, although Radiant Life is arguably better because while the Berkey needs two types of filters to get everything out that they get out, Radiant Life only needs one. So you're just buying less things and it's more powerful. So basically, they have a lot of options. So if you go to tradcookschool.com/rlwater, you can browse all their different options. If you need help, which I think everybody should avail themselves of this, click the button that says connect with a water expert. You can send a message to Tom or someone on the team and they'll get back to you and really help you narrow down all your choices. And while the whole house filtration system that we purchased plus the others added up to be quite a significant investment, if you're doing a shower filter, a simple faucet filter, those are a countertop system. They are very, very affordable. You'd be surprised. At the water class I did the other day, Laura said, wow, I had no idea it could be so affordable. And she's right. So you're looking at, a couple $100 as opposed to thousands of dollars when you do the, just the point of use filters, which by the way, if you rent or an apartment or whatever, they're not permanent. You can put them in, you can take them out, and nobody will ever know they were there. So it's very, very cool. Again, for anything I've mentioned today, all the links and more, askwardee.tv episode 134, or you can go directly to Radiant Life by using this link, tradcookschool.com/rlwater. So I was able to negotiate a really great deal for you from Radiant Life. So you can save $25 or $100 on their water systems for a limited time. And here's how that works. They have smaller systems like the countertop Berkey-like systems. They have just individual filters that can go at any sink or shower or whatever. Well, those smaller ones you can get $25 off. Use the coupon code Wardee, W-A-R-D-E-E, at checkout. Or if you purchase a larger system like this 14-stage system or a whole house filter, then you can get $100 off with that coupon code Wardee, W-A-R-D-E-E. So browse at tradcookschool.com/rlwater. Use the code Wardee, W-A-R-D-E-E, to save $25 on smaller systems or $100 on larger systems for a limited time. And thank you so much to Radiant Life, to Tom and Greg, to all the great people there for putting out such wonderful products and for being so generous to our audience to offer the discount. We really appreciate it. Now, if you know that water filtration is important to you, but you're not sure what to get, you're browsing at tradcookschool.com/rlwater and you just don't know what size or what series or which brand or whatever, which I should say about that, Radiant Life's water filters are generally under the brand Radiant Life, but they do have a couple that are other good brands that they carry. But anyway, you're browsing, you don't know what to pick, click that button, connect with a water expert, send your message, and Tom will help you select the right system for your needs. He will, in our case, he even found us the municipal water reports in our area. So I would know kind of, a basis, what we were dealing with to start. And then of course we did get additional testing, but all of it helped us know that which systems to choose. So take advantage of that. It's a free service they offer. They have just the most amazing support. To finish up, please do take advantage of the free water class I hosted recently. Tom was my guest. tradcookschool.com/water class. It's free, it's detailed, and gives a ton of information about all the different systems so that you can, learn a bit more about what to choose. All the systems can be browsed at tradcookschool.com/rlwater, and when you're ready to buy, use the coupon code Wardee, W-A-R-D-E-E, to get $25 off smaller systems or $100 off larger systems. Everything I've shared today, and actually even a little bit more that I wasn't able to say on camera, like quoting their site and some other information, is at askwardee.tv. Look for episode 134 and you'll get a complete resource for choosing the best water filtration system, and you'll get all our reasons and what we did, as well as a bonus video where we show step-by-step our entire installation process so you can see the systems in our garage and the process of putting them in. And if you haven't already, please do claim your free traditional cooking cupboard. It's your virtual place where we give you 14 plus free ebooks on traditional cooking, lots of topics, plus a free video series that shares our fundamental traditional cooking techniques with you. Claim that for free today at tradcookschool.com/yoursfree, YORSFREE, all one word. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for a great question, Connie. I'll see you all again in about a week, same time, same place. You can browse anything you'd like from the past Ask Wardee or future when they get released at askwardee.tv. And for this episode, look for episode 134. God bless you all. Bye-bye.